Hello guys, welcome back to a movie review, and we just got out and see Gladiator II. And I know this is a late one, but don't worry, we just want to make our own thoughts on this film because I know there's a lot of reviews out already and we kind of know the story about this film. And I could tell you right now, was this entertaining? I don't think so. I don't think this is a very good film going out seeing. I think I kind of regret watching this. To be honest, I'd rather go see Wicked, in my honest opinion. And I think I kind of don't like this film very much. But there is some elements that I do like about this film, like basically the visual effects. I kind of like that, except for some certain scenes that I'm not a big fan, like the CGI. I do like some of the action. Not a lot of them, but I do like some of it. But I do like how this is Ridley Scott's, what is this, like his 40th film or something?
It's up there. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it's like around up there. And it feels like he is losing his touch. He definitely is. You could kind of tell that he kind of just wanted to make Gladiator 2 for the hell of it. Like he just wanted to pass some time. And I feel like this is probably a movie that shouldn't really be made, but he just did it.
Well, it's kind of the higher up saying, what do we have that we can make a sequel to that'll make money for sure?
Well, yeah, don't get me wrong. The IP would, obviously sell, and obviously I think the thing is, what people would probably tell him is just don't do it. Let somebody else do it.
Yeah,
why should you do it?
The thing is, the first one's well known, I guess, that they'd be, why not? Let's make some money.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a cash grab, but basically it did very well. It did over $200 million, in the box office.
How much was it, do you know?
For this one?
Yeah, for this one.
For the whole budget of this, it is $250 million. So I'm pretty sure it might break even.
Okay.
It might.
No, breaking even is 2.5 times. It's gonna lose money.
Probably, but of course, it's still in theaters. Maybe it'll do pretty well worldwide. We won't know until the numbers go in, because obviously we're still like 1.5 into theaters, and they stay in the movie theaters about a month. And obviously, when we went to the theaters, it was pretty packed.
Yeah,
we went on almost like a sold out show, which is kind of incredible. That this movie, even though it kind of got like some bad things and negatives about reviews, and they're still kind of selling tickets, which is kind of unique in its own way. I'm guessing it's just one of those films that I think people will enjoy if they like some action in it and just basically just for entertainment purposes. But either way, I think I'm one of those people that I kind of was not entertained. It's just one of those films that I think I would have just skipped over. But that's in my opinion. But let's go with the boy. What do you thought of Gladiator 2?
I thought it was better than the first one. I didn't like the first one.
Yup.
I thought the first one was boring. All the acting was bad. Maybe aside from Joaquin Phoenix, but even his character was just annoying. I found the action, some of it fine, but I thought like the choreography or however the fuck you say it, when it came to like one-on-one battles or the guys, I thought that was actually well done. It was actually eye-appealing. As far as like, I think it was just better than the first one just by like even a little bit. I don't think the first one was that hard to beat. I thought some of it was a little ridiculous with the sharks, and the CGI was actually bad. I don't think it had any good CGI at all. It was actually kind of a sad excuse for that type of CGI that we saw. But of course, I think all the costume designs was really well. I didn't really like the main character, but I think I liked them a little bit better than Russell Crowe. Or actually, no, I find them the exact same. They're both kind of like, they were literally just cookie cutters of the same back and forth character. I did love Denzel Washington's weird ass performance. Definitely, he had my attention, as well as one of the Emperor brothers. The one who was turning red when he was screaming. Yeah. I don't know if you guys paid attention, but like how he looks pale with the makeup. He was screaming and he turned red. I felt like those two were the ones that were really invested in the film. As for the other characters, I felt like they were just riding along. Pedro Pascal's character was kind of just there. Even his acting was just, I'll read the script, I'll act it out. I mean, it had action. Some of the action was boring. In the beginning, what I walked into looked boring. I think it was fine. I mean, if you like the first Gladiator, I don't know how people like the first one over this one. I thought this was more appealing, at least more entertaining than the first one. It wasn't as it was still ugly a little bit. Like they still used the ugly filter that I don't like.
Oh, the blue filter kind of.
Yeah, I was like, why are you doing this? Like,
No, it's like the desert filter. Like
that's a style.
No, but it was like even.
That's
okay.
They turn the saturation all the way down, and it's like almost black and white, but not fully.
So
it's so ugly.
I think it worked for Napoleon because it was like there was cold settings. Over here, it's like I'm in a desert, and I feel like it's cold here, but it's daytime. But anyways, I thought the story was even whatever half-ass story this was. I thought it was better than the first one, even though it was the same goddamn thing practically. As far as I could say, it was just a fine film. Nothing more really to it than I was somewhat entertained. Not all the time, but I think I was a little bit more entertained than Wicked.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead, Ocean. What do you thought of this film?
I really hated the beginning of it. I was like getting really annoyed by it. I was like, oh, this shit sucks.
Yeah.
But then it got like a little bit better looking as the movie went on because they were using that desaturation. I don't know.
They're like color.
They like take all the color out, and I don't know. Anyway, the plot was like the same, and I was like, oh god, here we go again. It got a little bit better. It was kind of entertaining, and I liked it better than the first one. I hated the first one. I could barely sit through it. It was so boring to me. This one at least had some character in some of the characters. I don't know. Like, I love Joaquin Phoenix, but in the first one, like, he wasn't even good. Like, he wasn't doing it for me. So this one, like, Denzel Washington was good, and I thought it was kind of entertaining, but it wasn't great. But I was expecting a lot worse, given I hated the first one.
So you ever see like someone carrying the movie by their acting? I think this was Denzel Washington, basically. Yeah. He was having fun with the movie. It looked like.
I kind of disagree. I think it's Pedro Pascal that actually kind of carried the film for me, because I think there is some scenes that did work for him, but don't get me wrong, there was some scenes that kind of didn't work. Like his whole speeches, like that one speech when he was talking in the Coliseum, and then he just stopped, and I was like, "Are you gonna go on?" Like it felt like he just cut right there. Like I felt like there was more to that speech, but I understand why he kind of didn't want to do it.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, but yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. It was okay. It was better than I thought. Pedro Pascal was fine for me, but the mother, I don't know her name. She was like so boring, and her character
felt the same
was
to me.
Lascivia, something like that. Yeah.
One dimensional, basically.
Yeah, like I kind of hated her. How they wrote her, I didn't hate her, but how they wrote that character was pretty kind of shameful. It was okay. It was entertaining, but I don't think I'll remember this movie just like the original one.
All right, hey, that's fine.
Okay,
everybody has their own opinion, but yeah, I think this one is really, really. It doesn't really compare with the first one. I think the first one was basically the best one. I enjoyed it very much. I was so I was entertained with the first one. There's more memorable moments in the film, especially when there's like good battle scenes. They actually had real tigers in the little Coliseum there. I actually enjoyed it, and I appreciate it.
You didn't like the rhino.
Oh, that right. Well, that CG, like I'm saying, like those CGI moments were terrible.
What's with the no lions? I know they had
one lion in a cage.
That was a tiger.
Oh,
it was a tiger, yeah.
But they extinct like a whole race of lions, I think, and elephants.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I'm glad they didn't use it because the CGI was dog shit.
Yeah.
But
it was just bad.
No, I do have to disagree. I thought the action was better in here, other than the boat shit. That because that was like all CGI.
I know, but this is like my honest opinion. Me too. The first one is 20 times better. It's memorable.
The first one is like the most generic hero's arc story with fridging. They both have like really bad fridging.
Right. The thing about the first one though is like. That movie's old, and it was during a time where
it was in 2000.
Okay, but I mean that's not that long ago too, if you think about it. But like considering
that's old,
it's compared to other things, like
no, it's not old.
Yeah, it's old, but it's not old. Mm-hmm. But what I'm trying to get at is like it was during a time where it's like there's not really that good character development during I think those movies around the 2000s. Like they're kind of just how do I say it? think of like Transformers, you know, guy fights. It's kind of stuff like that I feel like Indiana Jones and stuff like that. Blade Runner. Like I feel like there's not crazy growth to a character, but I think Gladiator 1, because it's pretty different for its time. I think the Gladiator was actually pretty. You know, it took place in Rome,
and it did won Best Picture.
But again, like you look at all these films that are out now that take place in different time periods and stuff like that. There's just like with technology, there's like a lot more to do and make it look better. But I mean, I could see why people liked it back then. But I seen it now and seen this film side to side, and it's just the first one still doesn't do it for me. Like. I didn't feel any characters. I thought the acting was bad in the first one. This one, slightly better improvement and slightly better just because of the whole, you know, emperors, the two emperors. They're both ridiculous, but like it shows like Rome is fucked basically.
Well, I could agree with that when all the situation around them, but I do feel like the twins are like an afterthought. They're just like a bad plot, to be honest, to have. I prefer like Pascal's character trying to overthrow it was a lot better.
Well,
and more.
It was like a good add-on to the film, I thought, but it's
I feel like it gave it more character. Like I don't know, it felt a little silly and fun with the twins.
Yeah, well, yeah, because like
I did not.
No, I thought it was fun. I liked them.
I did not took them serious at all.
No. You're not supposed to give like okay.
They're giving Joffrey.
They were Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
These guys were way worse than Joffrey.
Well, like it's just that they didn't know what to do. Because like in history, some of them were kind of like that. In that they have power, they just abuse it and like entertainment.
Yeah.
So but during this film, like I found them somewhat enjoyable. I'm glad they didn't overstay their welcome. I don't think though, because I think if they were in there for the film longer, it would have been like, all right, just stop.
Yeah, because it was an afterthought.
Yeah, but I thought they were fine. They mattered to the plot a little bit just because of their status in power. They weren't like serious and stuff like that. Because you had Denzel's character, pretty much the mastermind behind everything.
I do definitely. I like Denzel Washington as an actor, but I think he was miscast here. Because every time when he starts talking, I'm like, man, you're like the most American dude here. Like you could tell from everybody else's accent. It's like more
from there.
Well, yeah. What do you mean?
He's not from Rome.
Well, of course not. But you could tell like other people are different. From.
He's saying that he's acting Americanized in the film.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying.
Like basically,
he doesn't say where he's from. So,
but that's not what he's trying to say. That he feels like an actual person, like you or me in America, speaking during that time.
He's too modern.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, I mean, some of I could see where, like, when he says politics, like, and like holds it out, he didn't have to do that. I could see where he came from. I don't think he did it too often.
Yeah.
To where like he's like, oh god, get this guy to my screen. No, I don't think so. I thought he was. I mean.
When I saw him, I'm just like, oh really, this guy? Like when he talks, he kind of just punched me out of the immersion. Like he just punched me out of this, where I'm trying to get into this world. And every single time when he talks and opens his mouth, I'm just like, ooh, I'm trying to take this guy serious, but I can't really. It's more like what? Did Rome took over Boston somewhere or something? I don't know because I just have no idea because it just didn't fit in the world of this kind of Roman Colosseum,
Yeah, but then again, if you start saying that, you could talk about Joaquin's character as in Napoleon. He was speaking his normal voice.
Well, yeah, that's what people had issues with.
Yeah, exactly.
As well. French people were pissed with that film.
I mean, I think he should have done an accent, but who cares?
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
Considering it's not like a biography actually. Yeah. It's more like kind of just cliff notes.
Yeah, but I get it. Obviously they wanted to pick a role for Denzel Washington to be in it. I just think he was miscast here. I think it should have been somewhere else that would have fit the world better, in my honest opinion. And that's just me though. But either way, let's go to final verdict so we could spoil this movie. Go ahead, Ocean.
Either a C+ or B-. It was fun to watch.
She enjoyed it a little more than I did.
Way more than
if you gave it a B, I'm a little surprised.
Yeah.
I like the actor.
Continue.
Well, I don't know. It was I'll stick with that.
All right, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
As for me, I'll give it a C plus because I did enter the film very irritated when I was watching it, and I was like, oh my god, like it's like they're doing this again. Because I did hear that it is like a repeat of the first one, but I didn't think it was like exactly, you know, I think it did technically is a shadow of the first one. However, I thought it was better than the first one, by a long shot, and some of the characters worked, some of the characters didn't work, but I did find it more enjoyable. I thought they nailed it again with the clothes design, some of the art design, not maybe the filter design, of course, but you know, I'm able to get past some of that and see some of the actions. I mean, it was more of an action film than I thought, and I thought it did some of its scenes right. Like I like when Pascal's fight with the five guys. I felt like some of the hits did impact. Some of them looked a little rough, but like some of them, like, you know, when he's fighting the guy in the beginning, when he first meets Denzel's character, like when he was hand fighting him, like you feel like you could kind of feel that in the theater. Of course, it had its some cringy dialogues, of course, my heroic speech, this speech.
I liked some of the gore in this too. Cool.
When he cuts off, or you know, we'll get into that.
Spoilers.
But it was gory, and I will say, I think it
could have did more, but
I could have done more. But I think it was for what surprisingly they showed, because I was like, all right, that happened at the end, which you know what scene I'm talking about. I'm gonna give this a C plus.
Okay.
I enjoyed the film. Even though there's a bunch of issues with the film, I found it more enjoyable. I think I had some fun with it, and some not fun with it.
There was a few like nice shots.
Really?
Like there was the I don't know, when they were in the low lighting and I saw like the candlelight. I love that when they were inside, and then there was one with the sky behind him, and they were like below Pascal, and he was like thinking about his dad or whatever. That was nice.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So she's right. I did like some of the stuff, but I felt like it could have used more like wider shots for like Rome, because they're in Rome. You know, people think of Rome. You know, great shots, historic buildings, stuff like that. I feel like they could have used a little bit more of that.
There was a lot of people.
Yeah. They used there for sure. He knows how to use his extras in the film, which, you know, I did think some of the comedy was a little funny. It kind of reminded me of Napoleon, and I'm like, okay, I could kind of see. You could definitely see his
his
style of
comedy.
But anyways, I will give this a C plus. Not the greatest movie, but it's a Gladiator movie, and Ridley Scott's probably going to be a hit or miss.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It really depends what kind of film that he actually puts out.
I don't think he'll really has a masterpiece aside maybe
Original Alien.
Yeah, aside that, but other than that, he is noticeable for his work. So I like this film. I'll give it a C plus.
You kind of understand a little bit like what you guys talk about. You know, you definitely like this film, you know, better than I do. I get it. You know, obviously the first one wasn't your cup of tea. It's not like the ones that you actually like. I'm pretty sure you don't like, you know, some of the battles. Like, because in the first 10 minutes of the intro, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed those war scenes. I like the brutality of it. Obviously, there was some dumb things that was going around, but I did enjoy it.
Okay.
And it was pretty fun for me. And I did like a lot of the fight scene with obviously Pascal and obviously Lucius, you know, when some of the Colosseum stuff, but not all of them. Obviously, the ones when they introduced the animals, I was like, oh, I wish he didn't do that. I wish he would have done something differently. Like the first one, you know, with the chariots and how they do shield wall. It's like the first one did something more unique than the second one. The second one just feels like it was a copy and paste, just trying to get some of those moments and trying to make it shine for the second one, or at least what Ridley Scott was trying to do. But I feel like he really ran out of material what to do with the second film. And then I feel like until the second half, it kind of picked up a little bit, but it kind of fell flat for me in the end.
Yeah, I think the second half was the better part of the film.
Yeah, because I feel like he was just copy and pasting. That was really bad about it. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of this film. I think this is one of his misses for sure. I don't think I recommend anybody to go see this. But if you saw the first one, you really want to, you know, just see an action kind of film. I think this is probably going to be your kind of field. But to be honest, I'd rather tell you to wait for the other movies that are coming in December, because there's a huge lineup that's coming, which is kind of exciting. But obviously for this one, I'm gonna give this a D minus. I think this is one of the worst ones that he actually did. Not completely the worst of the worst, but it's pretty bad in my opinion. And I think people could just skip this one over and just see, and then just save their money. And then if, watch the first one, and I recommend watching it again. So either way, that's all we got for you. So we'll see you guys on spoilers. But until then, later guys.